Hey, what's up? Today, as you could probably tell, I'm going to be talking about an episode of Cowboy Bebop. I picked this episode because not only is it a great homage to Alien and other sci-fi shows, but it's also a bottle episode. If you don't know, a bottle episode means the entire episode takes place in one location, and most of the time it's used in suspense and thrillers such as The Killer on the Train or some funny game about spacemen. This means that besides basic character introductions, you don't need to know any of the ongoing plot points and you don't feel lost when watching the episode. This is also episode 11 out of 26, and before this there were 4 to 5 episodes that were just purely character introductions, so this isn't too far in the series and there won't be any spoilers in this video.
Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze. Takes all the names from the things in the room.
Also, apparently this episode's English title is a reference to an Aerosmith album. We start off this episode with a POV of some creature crawling through the vents before we get the title card. This episode has 4 lessons which act like Stardate logs from Star Trek, and we get to hear a lesson from each character starting with Jet. Jet is a former space cop who left the force due to corruption and became a bounty hunter teaming up with Spike Spiegel. Spike is a former member of the Red Dragon crime syndicate who, for one reason or another, had to fake his death and start a new life, choosing to be a bounty hunter with Jet. Jet's space log talks about the life of a bounty hunter and how being self-employed means that you don't get checks if you don't have anyone to hunt.
It sounds good to call bounty hunting freelance work, but all that really means is that we're self-employed. So when there's no one to hunt, we have nothing.
We also see Spike preparing food for the crew with a flamethrower while Jet's gambling with Faye Valentine.
Your self-awareness, self-respect, I can't see that I'm a motherfucking SIMP.
Faye is a former bounty that made her way onto the team, and her special abilities being really good at gambling and really good looking for being over 70 years old. Her gambling ability is mostly due to cheating, and her Maybelline looks are because she was frozen for 50 years, but she's good at starting the inciting incident of the episode, whether it's stealing all the money from the Bebop or getting captured and needing rescued. The game of dice ends with Jet losing literally everything and stripping down to his birthday suit while Spike brings in dinner.
A man keeps his word.
We cut back to the monster's POV again before Jet continues his star log while getting a blanket to cover up with.
Those that try to get rich quick or live at the expense of others all get divine retribution somewhere along the line. That's the lesson.
He notices Chekhov's fridge in the corner, and we see the monster's POV again, but before we get to see anything, we cut to Faye. Faye is going to teach us about lesson 2 and how to be a certified girl boss.
Survival of the fittest is the law of nature. We deceive or we are deceived. Thus we flourish or perish. Nothing good ever happened to me when I trusted others.
This is also when we learn that Faye cheated her way through the dice game using an ankle bracelet to control the dice, and she plans to rent Jet's clothes back to him.
You could at least give him his clothes back.
I'll rent them to him.
Greedy, aren't we?
Well, I prefer to think of it as enterprising.
We hear an alarm go off, and Spike and Faye make their way to the storage area where Jet is. Jet says he was bitten by something, and after the team see a mouse, they think that Jet's just being a big baby and head out. While Faye is walking away, we get the sense that something's following her, but the moment's cut short when we see Jet asking Spike for medicine and Spike pulling out some new age medicine from hell.
Spike, isn't there something more, different?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, give me that. Ugh. I'll take the other thing.
Jet passes out after drinking the lizard goop, and this is when Spike notices the sore on the back of his neck. After getting a sample of the poison, we get a scene of Spike cross-checking the poison with the ship's back computer.
Cholera. Nope, it's not that. Ebola virus. Nope.
You have AIDS.
They can't find the poison in the database, so Ed comes up with the idea of a mystery space creature. Ed is a hacker from Earth who blackmailed her way onto joining the Bebop and maintains a balance of being wacky but also plot relevant.
Really?
Spike dismisses the idea of a mystery space creature and thinks it's something more like a rat mutation, but Faye isn't having it. We then see Faye in the bathtub and we get a scene that's very reminiscent of Nightmare on Elm Street and reminds me that I have a video going over the first movie that's turning 40 years old this year, and you can check it out by clicking up in the corner. This episode is great at creating tension, with the sound of the fan being the only thing we can hear before seeing the goop fall down and the scene cutting to Spike and Ed. Spike is giving Ed an infrared headset and a tracker in hopes to locate the monster, but Ed runs off with Ein before Spike can finish his sentence. Spike also sees something moving, but he thinks the headset could just be jank. To be fair, the blob did move like something from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Don't refer to her as a babe, please. She is a Chechnyan prostitute, and you will address her as such.
Don't cash that check immediately.
Faye comes in and asks Spike what happens after you get bitten. Spike says that he doesn't know for sure, but it's probably death, and Faye puts on a performance that would rival Shakespeare.
Oh, life is so unfair, poor me!
Hey, come on. What's gotten into you?
Henry, the mild-mannered janitor?
Could be. Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy.
Among the most powerful of these is the word abracadabra. Yeah, oh sure it is. Sick humor.
Batman, Scuba and I, we're not very good clue finders. Could we, wait in the Batmobile?
Certainly, but don't touch any of the instruments.
Listen, you runt. I seen it her first.
So what?
Fine. Chives, eject this imposter immediately.
Very good, Mom.
This isn't a mum, it's a daisy. Why, there's still a little dew on it.
Excuse me. Kind sir, can you show us the way to the main road?
We come back following Ed and get lesson 3, which is pretty short and simple.
Lesson. If you see a stranger, follow him.
Ed is quite a character.
Exploration, experimentation, exploration, exclamation. I will come back alive. I trust you, Ed.
Spike is looking for Ed, and Ein ends up running off, and I haven't really introduced Ein yet, mainly because he was just barking off screen for most of the episode, but Ein is a data dog. Well, I guess technically he's a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, but a data dog is a dog that's had its intelligence greatly enhanced by a research facility. He made his way onto the Bebop when Spike was after Hakim, who had stolen Ein, and naturally had a bounty placed on him. Wacky shenanigans ensue, the Bebop doesn't get paid, and they end up with a new pet dog. Good episode, 7.5 out of 10.
Get off!
Ein gets attacked by the goop, and Spike finds him up in the vents.
I can't believe they got you. Where are your animal instincts?
Spike sees the goop again with the infrared and almost gets got while climbing down the ladder. With 3 crew members down and 1 missing, Spike gears up for battle and puts the ship on autopilot before setting out to find the monster. We also start lesson 4, but the space log won't come until later. This entire episode has been slowly building suspense, but in the last quarter they really go all out, with Spike slowly making his way through the silent halls and clearing rooms with his scanner. Spike finds Ed's goggles on the floor, and we can guess that the monster got her. After getting scared by a leaky pipe, we get a release of all the tension that's been building throughout the episode.
That's it!
Spike throws a couple of gas grenades and locks the monster in the hallway, but after he tries to have a victory smoke, he realizes that he left his lighter in the hallway and the torch isn't working out too well. After busting some caps in the ass of the symbiote from Spider-Man 3, Spike finishes it off with the torch. After getting hungry and thinking about the leftovers in the fridge, Chekhov's fridge comes back into play and we hear Spike's space log.
That was when I remembered everything. It was, 1 year ago. I had gotten a hold of a real Ganymede rock lobster.
Rock lobster?
After seeing the abomination inside of the fridge, Spike wastes no time ejecting it into the vacuum of space. This process is interrupted when the mystery space creature is hiding on the fridge like the villain in an early 2000s slashers movie. Spike manages to eject the fridge and close the hatch before getting concussed and telling us the real lesson of the episode.
And what was the real lesson? Don't leave things in the fridge.
We also see that Ed was not only fine the whole time, but makes the mystery space monster her bitch.
More pudding. Ow.
We end the episode with the fridge flying through the vacuum of space with shots of the crew set to some classical music. It's hard for me to show without getting copywritten, but this episode and the entire show to an extent is very slow. It takes its time to build up to events, and by the time the climax of the episode happens, you're already invested in either the characters, the settings, or the story. Speaking of story, how did this episode end? I mean, they were all bitten except for Ed.
That was the last episode. May they all rest in peace. Amen. And for the next series, we bring you Cowgirl Ed!
Oh, okay. Usually I don't like sci-fi stuff because there's always the magical space rock that comes in and saves the day, or the crazy piece of technology that fixes everything. But Cowboy Bebop is one of the most realistic sci-fi settings. The ships aren't clean, there's still slums and petty crime, and they still use guns instead of phasers. They have a highway system of light-speed travel with checkpoints and regular 9-to-5 people working at said checkpoints. There's one episode that's about an old guy who used to work for the company that makes the checkpoints, and after they stole his idea and fired him, he basically let out the source code for all the checkpoints and retired to a hippie commune.
Yo, newbie, you're in a good mood today. Howdy there, guys.
He's an easygoing dude, ain't he?
Sure is, Antonio. Nice fella.
There's even one about a heavy metal loving space trucker and her cat that get tangled in a bebop bounty.
The rest is for your husband. I'm sure that he's got a hangover up there. Treat him to a prairie oyster on me.
Sci-fi is just the setting, but the characters and stories are still set in reality. If there are any other episodes you want me to cover, let me know down below. I have the complete series on Blu-ray, and it even came with an hour-long video of the English voice cast eating dinner for some reason. It also has the usual interviews and whatnot, but the cast eating dinner was something I hadn't seen before. I haven't watched all of it yet, but from what I have watched, it seems like a group of friends just getting together and having dinner. It's not like an interview or a Where Are They Now. It's honestly kind of wholesome, and you can tell they all had fun voicing these characters and working together.
So you look great for a chick with 75 years. I know. Right? It's that vegan diet.
Exactly right.
The next video I'm going to work on is part 7 of my Death Note series, and you can check out the playlist by clicking up in the corner. You should also check out the podcast I do with Arnie King called Henny for Your Thoughts. We upload new episodes every 2 weeks, and I talk about things I don't cover on my channel.
Hey, Magic the Gathering. Look me up on Magic the Gathering if you fuck with Magic. What's my... Let me see my name on here. Hey, Fully Von the Don. Fully Von the Don on Magic the Gathering. Look me up on that mug if you fuck with that. I know my nerds is out there somewhere. Hey, I got some nerds out there somewhere, but hey.
Let me get a lighter. You got a lighter on you?
I ain't got no lighter.
If you want to show your support and get behind the scenes updates, you should also check out my Patreon at PimpTurkey69. Until next time, later.